My name is Olivia. I am 33 years old. I live in a small apartment in Chicago. Every morning, I take the train to my office in the downtown loop. Life feels quiet and steady. I wake up, drink coffee, go to work, come home, and read a book before bed. I never expected anything to change. But one cold January morning, everything did. The company brought in a new regional manager. His name was Ryan. He was 41. He came from New York but moved to Chicago for this role. When he walked into the meeting room on his first day, he smiled at all of us. His smile was warm, like sunlight on a winter day. He spoke in a calm, soft voice. He looked each person in the eye and said, "I'm here to help the team grow. Let's do this together." I sat in the back row. I said hello when he passed my desk later. He nodded and said, "Nice to meet you, Olivia." That was it, just a normal first day. But something in my chest felt different. I could not explain why. Weeks passed. Ryan was kind to everyone. He remembered little things. If someone mentioned their kid's soccer game, he asked about it the next week. He brought donuts on Fridays and joked that they were team fuel. He never raised his voice. He listened when people talked. I started looking forward to Monday mornings, not because of the work, because of him. We began talking more during lunch breaks. One day he sat at my table in the break room. "Hey, Olivia, how was your weekend?" he asked. I smiled. "Quiet. I walked by the lake and watched the boats." He nodded. "I love the lake too. There's something peaceful about water, right?" We talked for 20 minutes. He told me about his favorite pizza place in Chicago. I laughed when he said he still missed New York bagels. His eyes lit up when he laughed. I felt warm inside, like something soft and bright was growing in my heart. At first I told myself it was nothing. He was my boss. I was just happy to have a nice manager. But soon I started thinking about him at night. I would lie in bed and remember the way he said my name. Olivia. It sounded gentle. I would smile in the dark and then feel silly. Why am I acting like a teenager? I whispered to myself. One afternoon, he stopped by my desk. I was struggling with a report on my computer. He leaned in to help. His hand brushed mine by accident when he pointed at the screen. My heart jumped so hard I thought he could hear it. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. His face was close. I could smell his clean cologne. "Yes," I said quickly. "Thank you." But inside I was not okay. My cheeks felt hot. I wanted him to stay right there forever. Days turned into months. We worked on projects together. We shared ideas in meetings. He always praised my work in front of the team. "You have great instincts, Olivia," he said once. No one had ever called me that before. I felt seen. I felt special. At night, I replayed his words like a favorite song. Then one Tuesday, I noticed the ring on his left hand. A simple gold band. It caught the light when he typed on his laptop during a meeting. My stomach dropped. He was married. Of course he was. A good man like Ryan would have a family. I felt stupid. I felt heavy. I went to the bathroom and stood in front of the mirror. Tears filled my eyes. "Stop this right now, Olivia," I told my reflection. "He is not yours." But love does not listen to orders. I tried to forget him. I tried to keep my distance. I smiled politely when he said good morning. I answered his questions about work and nothing more. Inside, my heart was loud. It kept saying his name. Ryan, Ryan, Ryan. Every day at the office became sweet and painful at the same time. I loved seeing him walk through the door in his blue coat. I loved the way he greeted everyone with real warmth. But I hated knowing he went home to someone else. I hated the empty feeling when he left for the day. One Friday evening, the whole team went out for happy hour at a small bar near the river. Ryan came too. We sat at a long table. Music played softly. People laughed and talked about weekend plans. Ryan sat across from me. Our eyes met many times. Later, when some people left, he moved to the seat next to mine. "How are you really doing, Olivia?" he asked quietly. I looked at my drink. "I'm okay." He waited. He always waited for real answers. "I've just been thinking a lot lately," I said. "About what?" "About life. About what makes us happy." He nodded slowly. "Yeah, I think about that too." We talked for a long time. He told me he had 2 kids. A boy named Mason, 8 years old, who loved baseball. A girl named Sophie, 6, who loved drawing pictures for him. His wife's name was Lauren. She worked as a teacher. He spoke about them with love in his voice. I smiled and nodded. But inside my heart cracked a little more. That night, I walked home along the Chicago River. The city lights reflected on the water. Tears ran down my cheeks. I whispered, Why did I let myself fall for him? There was no answer. Only the cold wind and the sound of my own footsteps. The next Saturday, I needed fresh air. I took the train to Millennium Park. I sat on a bench near the bean sculpture. People walked by, kids laughed, a street musician played guitar. I closed my eyes and tried to breathe. Then I heard a familiar voice. Olivia? I opened my eyes. Ryan stood there with his family. Lauren smiled at me politely. Mason held a baseball glove. Sophie had ice cream on her cheek. Ryan looked surprised but happy to see me. Hey, what a nice surprise, he said. I stood up quickly. Hi, just enjoying the park. Lauren said, It's a beautiful day, isn't it? I nodded. Yes. Enjoy your time together. I watched them walk away. Ryan picked up Sophie and kissed the top of her head. Mason ran ahead laughing. Lauren slipped her hand into Ryan's. They looked like a perfect family, happy, whole. I sat back down on the bench. My chest felt tight. I could not breathe right. Tears came fast. I covered my face with my hands so no one would see. In that moment, I understood the truth. He belonged to them, not to me. Never to me. I stayed in the park until the sun started to set. The sky turned orange and pink over the skyscrapers. I felt empty. Small. Alone. I walked home slowly. That night, I did not eat dinner. I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. Olivia, you have to let him go, I said out loud. My heart answered back. But I don't know how. Monday came. I did not want to go to the office. My eyes were puffy from crying. I put on makeup and tried to look normal. Ryan stopped at my desk in the morning. Olivia, you look a little tired. Everything all right? His voice was full of real concern. I looked down at my keyboard. Just didn't sleep well. He pulled up a chair and sat beside me. You know, you're one of the best people on this team. You're quiet, but you're strong. You care about your work. You care about people. That's rare. You're special, Olivia. Special. That word stayed in my ears all day. No one had ever said that to me before. Not like that. My heart felt too big for my chest. Happy and sad crashed together. I wanted to tell him everything. I wanted to say, I think about you every night. I love the way you smile. I love how kind you are. But I know I can't have you. I said nothing. He smiled one more time and went back to his office. I stared at my screen and could not type a single word. That evening, I stood in front of my bathroom mirror. Tears rolled down my face. He thinks I'm special, I whispered. Then I cried harder. Because it felt good to hear, and it felt terrible because it changed nothing. A few weeks later, we had to stay late to finish a big project. The office was almost empty. Only Ryan and I were left on our floor. The lights felt softer at night. He came over to my desk with 2 cups of coffee. Here, he said. You look like you need this. We worked side by side for a while. Then he stopped typing. Olivia, he said quietly. I looked up. His eyes were serious. You are important to me, more than you know. My heart started beating fast. I like working with you, he continued. You make the days better. You make me feel alive in a way I haven't in a long time. I felt tears coming. Ryan, he looked down. I'm married. I have kids. I love my family. But I can't stop thinking about you either. The room felt very still. I could hear the clock on the wall. I like you too, I said, my voice shaking. A lot. But I don't want to hurt anyone, especially not your children. They need their dad. He nodded slowly. I know. I would never want to break my family. But this feeling, it's real. We sat in silence for a long minute. It was the most beautiful and painful moment of my life. After that night, things changed a little. We still worked together every day. We still smiled and talked about projects. But we kept a careful distance. No more long talks in the break room. No more staying late alone. The secret stayed between us like a quiet storm. I thought about love a lot during those weeks. Love is not always simple. Sometimes it comes at the wrong time. Sometimes it hurts more than it heals. I felt guilty for my feelings. I felt angry at myself for falling so hard. I felt sad for the version of me that wanted something she could never have. One quiet Sunday evening, I sat on my couch with a cup of tea. The city lights twinkled outside my window. I thought about Ryan and his family. I thought about the park that day. I thought about the way he looked at his kids with so much love. Then I looked at myself in the reflection of the dark window. Olivia, I said softly, you deserve to be someone's first choice, not their secret, not their maybe. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would stop hoping he would leave his family. I would stop dreaming about what could never be. It was not easy. Some nights I still cried. Some mornings I still felt my heart ache when he walked past my desk. But I started small changes. I joined a book club on Wednesday evenings. I signed up for a painting class downtown. I took long walks along Lake Michigan on weekends and let the wind blow away some of the sadness. I called my mom more often and told her I loved her. I started cooking nice meals for myself instead of eating cereal alone. Little by little, I began to feel lighter. Ryan noticed the change. One afternoon he said, "You seem happier lately, Olivia. I'm glad." I smiled a real smile. "I'm trying to be." He nodded. We both understood without saying more. Months passed. The ache in my heart became softer. It did not disappear completely. Ryan would always hold a special place there. He taught me what it felt like to be truly seen. He taught me the beauty of kindness. But I learned something even bigger. Love is not only about holding someone close. Sometimes the bravest kind of love is letting go. Letting go so they can be happy with the life they already have. Letting go so you can find your own happiness. 1 year after Ryan first walked into the office, I sat at my desk on a sunny Friday afternoon. He stopped by one last time before a big meeting. "Olivia," he said gently, "thank you for everything. You made this job better." I looked up at him and smiled with my whole heart. "Thank you, Ryan. Take care of your family." He paused. For a second, I saw something soft and sad in his eyes. Then he smiled back. "I will. You take care of yourself, too." That was the last deep conversation we ever had. A few months later, Ryan got promoted and moved back to the New York office. I stayed in Chicago. I kept working hard. I kept growing. Today, I am 34. I still live in my small apartment, but it feels different now. It feels like home. I smile more. I laugh easier. I dream bigger. I go on dates sometimes. Nothing serious yet, but I am open to life again. Ryan will always be a quiet memory in my heart. A beautiful chapter that taught me about love and pain and strength. But I am no longer waiting. I am no longer hiding my feelings in the dark. I am living. If you are watching this and carrying a secret love that hurts, please hear me. Your heart is big and beautiful. It deserves to be loved fully, openly, and without guilt. Sometimes the hardest thing is to choose yourself. But when you do, the light comes back. Happy days are waiting for you. They really are. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched your heart, please like this video and share it with someone who needs hope. Remember to be kind to your own heart. You are special too. See you in the next story. With love, Olivia.